Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw News Brief. We're going to try to keep this one brief, but we also have an NWA Powerrr review by Larson today.
Yeah, man.
Because I didn't watch.
Well, you saw some of it.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it, so I can participate a little bit. Anyways, we're going to kick this off talking about Corey Graves, who on his After the Bell podcast, of course, this is the Insider WWE podcast, pulls no punches, doesn't toe the company line, shoot from the hip podcast featuring Corey Graves. Well, he had something to say about that controversial Saudi Arabia plane incident.
Yeah, you got that right.
The big plane crash.
Yeah, transcripts.
Wasn't
all
a plane
this
crash.
From Fightful, no crash. Transcripts from Fightful. This is what we had to say. Quote, "We got to the airport after Crown Jewel. There were a litany of delays, and no one seemed to get a surefire answer as to what was causing the delays. We heard everything from the fuel truck was parked on the runway, and the guy who drove the fuel truck wasn't there. Literally 10 or 15 different reasons why we couldn't get on the plane. As has been well publicized, there has been quite a few theories as to what happened. Long story short, speaking from personal experience, we got on the plane, in our seats, ready to take off. The flight crew took our food orders. There was confusion regarding the pilots. There was some sort of mechanical issue. They shut the plane down, restarted it. In the time it took to get this done, the flight crew had timed out, and we were informed that we would not be taking off." So more or less same thing AJ Styles said.
Yeah, pretty much. He continued, though. He said they deplaned everybody. Management came around and said, "If we can get a group of you guys to SmackDown, would you be willing to do it?" I just imagine that it's
Johnny Ace. Yeah.
Johnny Ace, yeah, John Laurinaitis. This is where it comes down to being a professional. We wanted to do it. The hashtag Saudi 20, I thought it was the hashtag top 20. Depending on who you ask, was the 20 most important people in the company. This is like that SmackDown top 10 from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
He says that wasn't the case. What it boiled down to was it was the people that were advertised for SmackDown. It had nothing to do with who was more important or who had the most cachet.
I mean, that's the list of people on that flight that got out. They're save for Bob Lashley. It was all
SmackDown people.
It was all SmackDown people.
Yeah. He says all these conspiracy theories that have been drawn up, and half of it comes from some of the boys that were on the plane. If you're that insecure and you feel so strongly, there's some finger wagging here going on. If you're that insecure and you feel so strongly that you're going to get on Twitter and complain that our flight got screwed up, Luke Harper, what's Twitter going to do? All it is fuel for these journalists. And then everyone, did he actually do air quotes? Because there's air quotes here.
I don't know. Maybe it's just his tone. Journalists.
Yeah. And then everyone puts their 2 cents in and starts coming up with their conspiracy theories. If you're mad that your flight got delayed and you weren't one of the Saudi 20, that's on you. Quit crying about it on Twitter. You know who wasn't complaining? Randy freaking Orton. If anyone has the cachet and the right to speak his mind, it would be Randy Orton. He got it. It was about doing the damn show.
He also talked about reports of Vince leaving early and whether this was a sign that he hightailed it out of there because he got in some sort of altercation. This is what Corey said. Quote, "What really got to me was when the rumors started coming out, the first one being that Vince left everybody in Saudi Arabia. That's not true. If you work here, you know that every week, no matter where we are, as soon as the final bell rings, Vince gets on his jet and goes home to the next city because the guy is busy running WWE. It might be a sexy headline saying Vince left before everybody. Everybody was stuck except for Vince and Brock. When you're Brock Lesnar, Tyson Fury, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, you've earned that." It wasn't like Vince said, "To hell with the talent."
Yeah.
Vince did exactly what he has done every week without fail. It wasn't some get the hell out of the country, there's something crazy going on. It was exactly how it works. That's how things operate every week. This is no different. It all sounds fairly reasonable.
Seems kind of, I'll be honest with you, seems kind of reasonable. The guy, I mean, Vince does seem like the kind of, he's got a lot going on. He doesn't sleep. He's got a private jet. Of course he's going to hightail it out of there.
I mean, probably the reason that people were suspicious about the official story is because, as Corey Graves, and I think AJ said too, there was a lot of various reasons why the plane wasn't taking off.
He said literally 10 to 15
different reasons.
Yeah.
And if you think, there's word going around backstage that Vince had some beef with someone in the Saudi government, sports authority, where the case may be, add that to, we're getting a bunch of different reasons why we're not taking off. Now we're not taking off. Now we have to stay here for a couple days. I mean, if there was some transparency, if someone knew exactly why from the very beginning and was able to communicate that effectively to the 200 or so people on the plane, might have mitigated some of the rumor spreading.
Yeah.
But then again, things like that. I mean, how many times have you been, or I've been at the airport and the flight's delayed, and you go up and you ask the person running the booth, the ticketing booth, and they'll give you an answer, and you're there for another couple hours. You go ask, and they're like, "Well, now this is the thing."
Yeah.
So I mean, in fairness, it's not uncommon. Even flying commercial, your flight's delayed. You look for answers. You hear about 5 or 6 different things.
It's like a giant mechanical beast that takes to the skies. It's miraculous. You ever get on there at all?
It's an intricate piece of technology an airplane is.
It really is. Ours almost went down in flames one time. Going in raw was about to be not going in raw.
Yeah.
It's about to be going in the ground.
Yeah.
When we were going to
we were flying out of Houston to go to New York for SummerSlam, and they had to take us back to Houston.
There was like 12 or 15.
There was at least 24 fire trucks following us down the runway because they expect us to land a ball of flames.
Yeah. that'd have been terrible. But, Corey Graves, look, man, this After the Bell, let's face it, it's a WWE puff piece.
Yeah.
But when AJ Styles was saying, I want to go talk to the pilot, I don't know. AJ doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's going to BS on behalf of the company. I'm sure he's a company guy and everything.
Yeah.
But he also kind of comes off as a bit of a straight shooter. On top of that, when he gave his statement, it was during a gameplay thing, I think.
Yeah, it
wasn't. And when you're doing that, it's kind of hard to lie while you're trying to play some PUBG.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
That's my feeling on that,
Yeah.
Yeah. So much ado maybe about nothing, but the circumstances, the TV broadcast being late, the whole payment thing, Vince hightailing out of there. Was that report of the Saudi prince meetup, the meet and greet with Vince.
Yeah, that no-showed.
I mean, and then the plane didn't take off. I mean, it's not easy. It's not difficult to connect some dots when you see them.
Yeah. Or be in a situation where you're not getting a straight answer. You're forced to connect some dots.
Yeah, exactly. Power play or mechanical issues. Either way, they got out of there okay.
Yeah, everybody's home safe.
Luke Harper, not happy to be there. Probably added some time to his contract for the Instagram post.
Voicing his displeasure.
Hopefully it was worth it. I didn't even, so that caption about, you said something to Larry?
Yeah.
What was that about? I didn't entirely understand that.
I don't get it either.
Beyond, I just got it was like watching a telenovela. Like, I understand some words, but I have to figure the rest out through body language and then the musical cues. In this, it was Luke Harper's annoyed face, Angelo Dawkins' annoyed face, some person named Larry he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get it.
Do you know who Larry is?
I mean, there's a lot of Larrys in this planet of ours.
Well, yeah, Larry Sanders.
Larry Zbyszko.
Lanny Poffo.
It's not Larry. Anyways.
My parents knew a Larry.
No, there you go.
Larry.
So I told you, there's a lot of Larrys.
Something or other.
Tons of Larrys. Let's revisit this Dave Meltzer, Seth Rollins beef. We spoke about it yesterday on News Brief. In short, Meltzer said Seth gave a speech before Raw during an all-hands-on-deck locker room meeting. Seth said, "No, I didn't." He told that to Fightful. So Dave had to eat some crow today.
Yeah, Fightful actually.
Yesterday, sorry.
Fightful came back with their own sources, all of which saying
no speech.
No speech was it. Seth didn't say a word.
Yeah, not a peep. AJ Styles apparently spoke, though.
Yeah,
AJ
did.
Carl Anderson.
Carl Anderson did.
So anyways, Seth had 2 tweets to old Dave. Dave responded to Seth's tweet by saying, quote, "Very sorry on this. I don't want to spread misinformation." Anyways, move on to happier news. There's a new episode of NWA Powerrr last night.
Yeah, man. Some Tuesdays I'm all about it. Some Tuesdays I'm like, eh.
There's a lot of wrestling, man. I don't fault you at all for wanting to take a night off.
Yeah.
Because especially like tonight, Wednesday, is 4 hours of it.
A lot of fun stuff going on in Impact also, man.
So I've heard.
I wouldn't mind checking some of that out. Some days I'm like,
I can fit in another hour of wrestling too. That's too much.
Oh boy, last night instead of watching Power, I got on the old Twitch machine and I played some slow Wolfpack NBA.
Heard it didn't go so well for you.
Lost 2 games in a row. We were butts.
You know what you need?
What?
You need some Larson on the team shooting up some threes.
I've been thinking about drafting Larry Bird. Or signing, trading for Larry Bird. All day long from 3.
Yeah, but I have the algorithm to hit threes on a consistent basis.
All right, well, come over to my house late at night on Tuesdays if you want.
I'm afraid not.
Okay, then. Maybe we can do an online thing. Anyways, so you go ahead and review.
Oh, sure.
NWA Powerrr. In a nutshell, NWA Powerrr, yay or nay?
It was fun. What I really like about NWA Powerrr the most is how every character is complex, well-rounded, Very human.
I like this Marty Bell. I watched a little bit of the Marty Bell,
Yeah.
Thunder Rosa, Allison K stuff. I really dig. That was cool because Marty Bell and Sienna are good for Allison K are really
good friends, and there was a turn, yeah.
And then Thunder Rosa was like, you know, because Allison K is being a dick to Marty Bell.
I know.
Wow.
And Thunder Rosa's kind of there and they got that drum pattern in there.
I like that.
To kind of build some drama about whether this, like a turn's going to happen or something. Because it happened twice in this episode. She kind of set people up to be attacked.
Needs a rim shot.
Well, it's not for comedic effect, unfortunately.
I
mean, I think, yeah.
She drops that knee on her.
Yeah, the cartoon horn. That's what they need in there. Kind of, there was this Tim Storm interview that I know you watched because I saw you watching it over there.
You told me to.
And stuff like that I really like about Powerrr.
Yeah.
Because you have this interview with Tim Storm. I'm jumping ahead a bit, I know. But interview with Tim Storm where he's asked, he lost his match against Aldous, therefore he can't challenge for the NWA title again. And the interviewer's like, well, there's other really good titles here. You can be a tag champion, you can be national champion. Mm-hmm. Although the whole point of the national champion is that you're first in line for the NWA title. So even that is kind of like rubbing salt on the wound. And he was like, yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like he's on the verge of saying, well, if I can't ever fight for it again, so be it. And NIC Aldous comes in and pulls him aside. And it's just mic'd up with Tim Storm's lav mic.
Yeah.
So you hear Aldous, but it's not as loud and clear.
Yeah,
as
they walk
Storm.
away from the camera, but then the camera zooms in,
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
still get a bit of a close-up.
And so NIC Aldous is like, hey, I just came in and stepped in here. These guys are rivals. I came in and stepped in because I wanted to pull you aside before he says something that you regret, something that you can't take back. Mm-hmm.
He said, you built this house. You and I both built this house.
Yeah.
Look around. He says, I don't want you to say anything you're going to regret. Nothing is impossible around here.
Yeah.
And I want you to think very carefully about what you're doing.
Don't listen to Eli Drake putting thoughts in your head.
Yeah.
Essentially, you're your own man. You're one of the reasons why this NWA Powerrr exists. Nothing is impossible. And he walks away, and there's this great shot. Tim Storm, man.
He's good.
Hell of a performance.
He's so good.
Where he kind of just looks around, soaks it all in. He's getting real emotional.
Yeah.
And it's just stuff like that. I mean, it's like AEW does this from time to time in their video packages, where it's just, they're human stories. These are people.
Yeah, right.
They're not trying to be larger than life.
Yeah.
They're people.
Yeah.
And it makes things so relatable.
Yeah.
And it's so different than everything WWE does, because everything about WWE is huge and spectacle and over the top.
And here's the difference between what Powerrr did last night and what WWE, how they would have handled this. It'd have been an interview. Aldous comes up, and in front of the camera guy and then the whole world,
Like this.
Yeah, they'd be doing it side by side like that.
Yeah.
This was such great staging. It's great use of and I can't it's going to be great like a couple years from now, assuming it's still going and assuming they're in that space still. That space is going to be something special.
Yeah, I know.
I
know.
They keep on playing with it like this.
We'll have some news about that later on after we do the recap. So the show put up with an Eli Drake kind of recap of kind of like how he's been stirring the drink a lot. Mm-hmm. He's stirring things up. We saw him later come out with James Storm for the main event. He's kind of been like antagonizing people, trying to get stuff happening. Mm-hmm. And it's probably going to be all in the end for his own gain, or so he hopes. Yeah. The show kicks off in earnest with a Colt Cabana interview. He says he's been in this business for a long time. He's not exactly comfortable with the label main eventer. However, he says, I deserve to be a main eventer. Mm-hmm. I get my shot at the national title tonight in the main event because I am a main eventer now.
I'm a main eventer.
So it is his coronation, win or loss, as a main event talent. Yeah. And it was good. He was really enthusiastic, but it seemed genuine. Mm-hmm. Next, we had Aaron Stevens roll up to the interview desk. He called his loss to Ricky Starks the week prior a fluke. Said, bottom line, he's better. Mm-hmm. He petitioned the NWA for a rematch with Starks with a stipulation, but he doesn't know what it is yet. Ooh. He said that would happen later. He says he's like a great cousin or nephew or something to Shakespeare, and he starts to drop some Bard. Oh, nice. And he's interrupted.
Do you know what is it from?
I'm not that familiar with Shakespeare. Sorry.
Interesting.
Not that well read, Steve.
You should honestly.
If it's Hamlet, I know it's Hamlet.
Honestly, you should have just said, I don't know, Macbeth.
Yeah.
Or just like be
The Tempest.
Yeah, there you go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Midsummer's Night. Like, I know a lot of the names of the plays.
But if you're just convincing about it, be like, oh yeah, it was a quatrain from The Tempest. It was a quatrain, isn't that a Nostradamus thing?
Quatrain is a Shakespeare thing.
It was some Nostradamus.
Nostradamus. After that, the first of two airings of a NIC Aldous commercial announcing that the NWA is coming to Retromania Wrestling. This was fantastic.
Aldous is terrific because he's such a he just comes off like an old school dude, you know? Like, it's weird to think this dude's probably younger than us.
Maybe.
But he comes off as just a traditionalist. So, like, he looks uncomfortable doing this, but it's hilarious.
It is.
It's great because he's all in on it. He's giving it his all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, NWA coming to Retromania. That's awesome.
Looks great. Next tag match, the Dawsons taking on Mims and Kingsley. Squash match here, more or less.
Gotcha.
Dawsons win after double powerbomb. They go to the interview desk. They say they want a tag title shot because they beat Eddie Kingston and Homicide last week. Problem is, Eddie Kingston and Homicide, they're kind of next in line to get a title opportunity. Enroll Eddie and Homicide. Eddie says, I know we have a title shot. You beat us last week. Essentially, we have something to prove that we can beat you, and we're willing to put up our title shot to get another match with you to prove that we were better.
Crowd loves Eddie Kingston.
He's great, man.
I love Eddie Kingston. I think he's absolutely terrific.
Yeah.
This is good stuff.
It's
crazy because he hit a kid with his car, and yet I still love the guy. I think he's great.
He's got a ton of personality. We sat near him at StarCast last year, and he was just nonstop riot. It was great. And so the Dawsons, they have this title opportunity potentially on a platter in front of them.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we'll think about it.
Okay, so this is my only. So I did see this segment too. This was my only problem with this. Eddie Kingston and Homicide are offering up their title shot. Why? Just to get at the Dawsons?
To prove that the loss last week, it was no DQ match. Eddie wasn't making any excuses, but Eddie and Homicide felt, this is kind of unsaid, but this is the gist I got.
Yeah.
Eddie and Homicide felt they were the better team. They did lose to some hijinks courtesy of the wild cards.
But they want to prove that they're a better team.
They're the better team, and they're willing to put their title shot in the line to prove that they're the best.
I feel like that point, and Eddie's a great talker, that point might have been hammered home a bit more, because when the Dawsons walk away, it's like, hold on a second. Why are they even offering this up, and why are you guys walking away from it? It's like both people, their motivations was like inverted. It was like all backwards motivation.
Yeah, I think it could have been more crystal clear in terms of the explanation, but if you think about it, you can figure it out. After that was a Tim Storm interview that I mentioned, and that was
terrific,
off the charts, fantastic stuff. Next, Ashleigh Vox taking on the debuting Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa's great.
Isn't she like a legit fighter? I want to say, didn't she like?
Are you confusing her with Sexy Star?
No. Go ahead.
Anyways, it's a pretty short match. Ashleigh Vox got a little bit of offense in, but Thunder Rosa was working over her spine. She hits a top rope double stomp onto Vox's back for the win.
Yes, that's right. Okay, I'm not tripping. Last month she signed with Combate Americas.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. November 8th was her. Oh, 2 days from now she'll have her actual first match.
Cool. And after the bell, she starts laying into Ashleigh Vox. Marty Bell comes down the ring to make the save. And then Thunder Rosa kind of holds up Ashleigh Vox and does this. Sort of like, come on, join me. Beat her up too. And then you get the pounding drums playing, which we saw last week, which seemed kind of out of place. But now that I understand the theme, I get it.
Yeah.
And it's like the only time you hear music on NWA Powerrr apart from talking.
Yeah, it does make it pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they need to do something with the levels, though. It feels a bit too prominent.
Okay.
That's just me.
Do you still feel like it should feel more like it's coming into the building and not just in our audio?
To me, it feels like it's laid. The audio is laid down in post.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like to me. But Marty Bell doesn't oblige, so Thunder Rosa leaves. I got a commercial for the NWA Deal of the Week. You can get a 10 pounds of gold pin, I think, for like $5 off.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Hell of a deal.
That's a good deal.
Deal. Pete on! Next, Marty Bell interview, talking about Allison K last week, said, hey, yeah, we're friends. You don't have the ingredients to be champion, though.
I still maintain that'd be a really difficult thing for me to say to you. Larson, you're a good friend, known you for a long time. You're not ready for this.
You're not championship material. But if you did say it to me, I was like, yeah, he's probably right. I feel like I'm relatively aware of my limitations. Yeah, you're probably right. I don't have the killer instinct in me to be champion. You're right. I'll play second fiddle to you, Steve. That's cool.
I don't have the ingredients. I'm good.
So Allison K comes out and interrupts, and she's like, "Why didn't you come to me with your problems, with your issues with me?" Well, Allison, you said it publicly last week that your best friend would be a crap champion.
Yeah, Marty Bell is she's in the right here.
Yeah.
She's kind of in the right here.
And then Thunder Rosa comes out, attacks Allison Kay, pushes the ring post, tosses her in the ring, starts kicking the heck out of her. Allison Kay tries to make a comeback, all for naught. Thunder Rosa regains the advantage, and she does the same thing. She kind of holds up Allison Kay, looks at Marty Bell, and kind of does this. And Marty Bell has this, she's thinking about it, and then she'll let me drop some boots on Allison Kay.
Oh man, that was great. Again, they're taking the conventions of pro wrestling and they're just simplifying them.
Yeah.
And yet doing them a little different.
Yeah.
I love it. I think
good.
it's great. Yeah.
And it's good. So
Marty Bell takes out Allison Kay. She
Yeah.
stands over her, starts talking crap.
And then next we had another video package for question mark.
Who do you think this is?
I have no idea.
Me neither. Sort of a Hossy guy.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of Hossy guy free agents.
And since with all the emphasis on question, but mark too, are they going to make this like a real self-referential type thing?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so wait, sorry, who'd you say you thought it was?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to think
speculated.
of. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Next, Aaron Stevens versus Ricky Starks rematch from last
Stroke
week.
Daddy.
Yeah, man, that promo you showed me.
So he's got
Twitter
on his pinned tweet is
great.
video promo that's really well
phenomenal.
done. It is, yeah, it really is.
There's
the filmmaking is amazing.
Really good, yeah. So Aaron Stevens comes to the interview desk before the match and said it's going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match because no one can beat him 2 falls out of 3. And then he takes off his robe and lo and behold,
He's got the nude tights.
he's got the new tights, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw some gifs from this match.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Immediately, Aaron Stevens goes for a lariat. Ricky Starks evades, rolls him up, gets the win, wins the first fall. They say 3 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
So Aaron Stevens already in the hole, 1-0.
No. Oh no.
So there's some back and forth. All the matches on Powerrr are pretty short.
Yeah.
So the finish saw Starks miss a drop kick, and then Aaron Stevens is over and about to do the elbow of disdain. He's really taking his time.
Yeah.
Talking trash to the crowd.
Oh, no.
This allows Starks an opportunity to roll him up to win the second fall. Aaron Stevens didn't even win one.
What a mess.
Total mess.
Stroke Daddy. Second week in a row.
And so at the end of the match, Robin Stevens again. Aaron Stevens is all no, and the crowd of course says yes. That's the thing they got going. Another Retromania commercial, so good it's worth watching again. What we thought was going to be the main event of the show: Colt Cabana with Ken Anderson taking on James Storm with Eli Drake. Fun match, 10 minutes.
Okay.
No point in it overstay its welcome.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, they really do in these TV matches distill the essence of the story they want to tell. Without any of there's no fat, there's no filler.
Yeah.
So this match was fun. Towards the end, Storm hits Eye of the Storm. Colt kicks out. And then Eli Drake hops on the apron. He's barking at the ref. Ken Anderson comes over, pulls him off. Drake punches Anderson. And then Camille comes out, and she shoves Eli Drake into Ken Anderson. And then Ken Anderson punches Eli. So Eli's kind of out of the equation. So James Storm is like, what the heck's going on out here? This is an absolute mess. This allows Colt the opportunity to take advantage of that distraction. He hits the Superman pin on James Storm for the win. He is new national champion.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then you got Colt and Anderson in the ring celebrating. Storm's in there. He kind of gets up and he says to Colt, he doesn't have a mic. You can just hear it. You were a beaten man until the funny business went down outside.
Yeah.
And so this Colt celebrating in the ring, and then the Dawsons barge into the interview desk, and they say, well, now we want our match against. Because earlier in the show, it was advertised it was going to happen next week.
Yeah.
Like, no, we want to do it now.
Wow.
So our main event, Dawsons versus Kingston and Homicide. Not a no DQ match, traditional match. Towards the end, wild cards come down to ringside. Zane Dawson's on the apron. Homicide kicks him onto the wild cards, and then he goes up to the top. Homicide does. And the wild cards are like grabbing at his ankle so he can't jump off. Rock and Roll Express run down.
Oh, my gosh.
They make the save.
Oh, wow.
And then Homicide hits the cutter on Zane Dawson for the win.
Wow.
Dawson's not getting their title shot.
Oh, bummer. Wow. Rock and Roll Express.
But a fun show.
That's crazy. The Rock and Roll Express aligning with the OGs after X-Lax beat them up last week. There's a whole multi-universe story going on
Pretty crazy,
here.
huh?
I love it.
We'll conclude with this, some more NWA news. This is courtesy of Sean Moody's podcast. NWA executive producer, one of the two, Dave Lagana, not Billy Corgan,
Right.
was asked about NWA's current business model and whether they could sustain it to the foreseeable future. Again, transcripts courtesy of Fightful. This is what Dave had to say, quote, "This is not a sustainable model, meaning spending what we spend per episode and putting it on YouTube. I'll be transparent. The production is not being paid for right now on YouTube money alone. But what has happened since we launched was the audience has grown so quickly that we are a lot closer to being sustainable than when we started.
Wow.
Paying for this is ticket sales, merch, and YouTube ad money. Our breaks will evolve. As long as it fits the genre and we produce the content so it fits inside our world, this show can be a marketing tool to anyone who wants to sell to this kind of audience."
We got to find out how much it would be to run a Going in Riot on this NWA Powerrr, man. That'd be terrific. We got to reach out to John. And you know what? That actually brings up a really good point here. If you really like NWA Powerrr, you got to figure out a way how to support it. Whether going and buying a ticket to the show if you're in the area, or hopping online, taking advantage of one of their deals, buying a shirt, merch, whatever. Like,
Or at least turn off ad block if you're watching their
turn
show
off
on
ad
YouTube.
block. They should, honestly, they should be opening up super chats during their premiere. I wonder if they do that.
No,
during
I've
their
noticed
premiere.
that. I've never watched it.
I've never watched it as a premiere either.
Hopefully they do.
Yeah, you'd think they would, maybe.
Because it's a really fun show. And you know, we know Billy Corgan's got a ton of money. Nonetheless, the goal, I'm sure, for any business is to be self-sustaining.
You would think so, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, if you like it, support it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you can support us on the Patreon at
hell of a segue there.
patreon.com/Stephen Larson. We have all sorts of great bonus content. Just this week alone, we had a Joker review, which I talked about. We had today we had some NBA gameplay go up, which was a lot of fun and very frustrating because of you. We had a really
strategy
great
worked really well in the first half. That's all I got to say.
It actually did. A really great discussion about Seth Rollins and his relationship with social media. And then tomorrow we got some more WWE 2K20.
We're just trying to break that game.
We're trying to break that game.
Trying to break it.
Exactly.
So go to patreon.com/Stephen Larson. Sign up. You too can watch that.
Or become a
stuff.
YouTube channel
Yes,
member.
that too.
As well. So that's it for the news brief. Well, it was briefer than last week's Wednesday beef. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.